If you've been in the FNaF community for a while, you've probably heard of the theory that Fritz Smith, the secondary protagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, is an alias for Michael Afton. This is a pretty popular theory because it would mean that we play as Mike in every game, which makes the games feel more connected. But is there any actual evidence for this? Or is it just a fun headcanon? Well, surprisingly, there is actually quite a bit of evidence for this. And no, it's not just the odor thing. In fact, I have something that I don't think I've ever seen anyone talk about, so make sure to stay till the end for that. Before we talk about the evidence for why Mike is Fritz, let's talk about the evidence I don't think holds up, that being the odor thing. In case you don't know, both Mike Schmidt, who is probably Michael Afton, and Fritz are fired for odor. The theory goes the reason Mike smells bad is because he already went through the events of Sister Location and is now a rotting corpse, so obviously he would smell bad because, it's a whole corpse thing. The thing is that Sister Location probably takes place after FNaF 1, so he wouldn't be a corpse yet, and Fritz doesn't have to be Mike to smell bad anyway. We know that Fritz tampered with the animatronics, and we know that the animatronics smell awful.
The idea at first was to repair them. They even started retrofitting them with some of the newer technology, but they were just so ugly, and the smell.
So this is a piece of evidence I don't think holds up very well, but there is more evidence that I think does actually hold up. So first, let's take a look at the actual name itself, Fritz Smith. Let's talk about the last name Smith. Smith actually has a German equivalent, which is Schmidt. Basically, Schmidt is Smith in German, which is the last name from Mike Schmidt, which is an alias Mike uses. So that's already a very good connection, I think. But there's more than just the last name to look at. The first name, Fritz, is also the same name as the child that possesses Foxy, which was revealed in FNaF 6. And Foxy is an animatronic that Mike is mostly represented by. It's even the mask he wore when he killed his brother, unless you think Mike victim. Except for FNaF 6, where he's represented by a white bear for some reason, which is also yellow sometimes. Whatever. Anyway, I do think it's an interesting connection, especially since Fritz didn't have to be the name of the Foxy kid. That's something Scott actually added after FNaF 2, and after the theory of Mike being Fritz became popular. Well, I guess the theory only became popular like a few months, like a month or two before the game came out, because that's when Matt Pett made like his video about it, and that's like when it started to take off, I think. But still, like, it wouldn't be that hard, I think. I don't know how long it takes, but I would imagine like you could probably make the graves in like a day. You all get what I'm saying? Kind of like he didn't have to be Fritz, but after theory became popular, he showed that his name was Fritz. Now, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but I do think Scott is trying to say there might be a connection between the Fritzes. And if people can say that the Bonnie bully is Jeremy Fitzgerald because the kid who possesses Bonnie is named Jeremy, I think the Fritz thing is pretty valid. Yo, what's up? It's Bean Editing real quick. I just want to explain more of what like my point was here. So pretty much like about the Jeremy thing, right? I said it like it was some like widely accepted community thing. It's not, like, not everyone believes that. It's been like a thing for years, and just like now it's widely becoming popular because of Help Wanted 2, but like I'm just saying, like, I want to clarify, like, I say that like everyone believes it, not everyone believes that. I just said that as like an example. So like if you think this, then you can. And I think it's valid to think this. That's just what I'm trying to say. So also about the gravestones, right? I said like it was some easy thing. I think like what my thinking is there, right? Is I think to just add like a name on a grave. I think you could probably get that done in a day. I don't know about the whole drawing, but you wouldn't have to redo the whole thing, just the grave, right? You could like, that's just my thinking. Like I could be wrong about that, but that's just what I was thinking. I just want to explain myself in case like any of you were confused about what I meant, so yeah. So both halves of the name can connect back to Mike in some way, which I would say is already pretty solid in and of itself. But there is another piece of evidence that I've never seen anyone talk about. It may mean nothing, but I think if it means something, it's a pretty good piece of evidence for this theory. In the completion ending of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, during Henry's speech, a few images from FNaF 1 and 2 fade in. What's interesting is that these images don't appear on the monitor, but rather appear over the whole screen, which may imply that those images are what the protagonist is thinking in the moment. Why the fuck Mike is thinking of a random hallway from FNaF 1 in like Mangle's room, I don't fucking know. Since the protagonist of FNaF 6 is most likely Michael, and we know he was Mike Schmidt from FNaF 1, would that not imply that Mike is one of the two protagonists from FNaF 2? Furthermore, these images are specifically from the cameras, which only security guards would have seen. Now, there is a possibility that Scott simply added these images to give the player more context for what Henry is saying, especially with the puppet, like he was talking about Charlie, and then the puppet fades in, and he was just reusing assets, but it's still intriguing nonetheless. And with all the other evidence I've talked about, I definitely think between the two, Mike would be Fritz. Personally, I really like this theory, because I like the idea of having a main character for all the games. It makes them feel much more connected, in my opinion. And also, Mike is my favorite character, so I'm biased. Now, something I want to talk about is why. Why is Mike Fritz? What is his motivation? Well, here's what I think, this is actually just like, I don't even think there's evidence for this. This is just like spitballing. I think that Mike was like investigating Freddy's after the second missing children incident. I think he was investigating it because he wanted to like redeem himself for the crying child's death. And while he chose to investigate Freddy's, was because he already has a personal connection to the franchise. You know, his father was a founder, and also it's like where he killed his brother. I mean, I guess that was Fredbear's or whatever. It's basically the same thing. This would also explain why Fritz tampers with the animatronics. It's because Mike is looking for the kids' bodies. How Mike would know to look in the animatronics, it's like, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter anyway. He doesn't find them because it seems that the second MCI are not stuffed in the suits like the original ones. I don't know what happened to the bodies, but I'm just guessing from how they're like spread out, like in that minigame, that probably, I think to me that implies that William like disposed of those bodies in a different way. I don't know. Also, I guess Mike could be working for William, but I don't really like that theory. To end the video, I just want to say it's okay if you don't believe Mike is Fritz. Overall, it doesn't matter to the main story, and Fritz could just be someone random, like it could be the Foxy kid's dad or something. I just wanted to explain why I believe his theory, and maybe try to convince you. I also want to warm up because I'm going to make a video on why Mike is the FNaF 3 guard, which I need to start writing. I just read what we found, now I gotta look at the logbook and like see all the other evidence for every other Fright Guard theory. That video is going to take a while. So you should subscribe to make sure you don't miss it when it comes out.